Hi, I'm Lori. Welcome to our next chapter, Life After Corporate. My husband Ken and I retired from corporate life, and now we're building a freedom-first lifestyle through real estate and other projects while actually enjoying the life we worked for. We live in Boise, Idaho, but we also spend time in Seattle, where our yacht is kept in Elliott Bay. You'll see everyday life, hangar days, marina weekends, tennis and cooking, behind the scenes of our projects, and plenty of cameos from Lexi, our Pekingese Chihuahua with a big personality. And you'll also meet my 95-year-old mother. I take her to Catholic Church in Glens Ferry twice a month, and she's one of the best parts of this chapter. If you love real-life lifestyle, routines, and a little adventure, subscribe and come along with us. Hi, I'm Lori.
And I'm Ken.
And this is our first episode of our next chapter, Life After Corporate. So we'd like to just give you a little insight to who we are as people and where we came from. I was born originally in San Jose, California. And when I was 2 years old, my family came out to Idaho on a family vacation to visit my aunt. And they ended up buying a 26-acre farm and horse ranch. So we moved our family from California. They kind of wanted to get out of the rat race. I had 4 older sisters. 2 had already left the house. So I grew up in a wonderful 26-acre horse ranch with every animal imaginable. I eventually moved to California. I lived in Los Angeles for a while and then Denver for a couple of years, but then decided to move back to Idaho. So I moved to Boise and have been here since 1991.
Yeah, and for me, I grew up in Colorado, junior high and high school. My parents were divorced, so I spent summers in Boise with my father, but I went out to the San Francisco Bay Area for school and stayed there for a total of 14 years working in the tech industry. Moved to Seattle. I started working in the tech industry again, a couple smaller companies, and then moved to Boise 20 years ago to help my father develop real estate. And I love being in Boise.
So my professional background is that I was in the travel industry for 15 years, working for Continental Airlines in Los Angeles and Denver. When I moved to Boise, I got a job with a travel agency, Global Travel, and worked for them. Later on, I was a non-traditional student at Boise State and finished my marketing degree there, and then went into the mortgage business, where I worked for 20 years in the mortgage business.
And that was tough. In 2008, when the market collapsed, I had moved here to help my dad develop real estate, and we were both in real estate. And so when that collapsed in 2008, boy, those were tough times for both of us. I ended up having to get a job back in the tech industry. We had a negative net worth, and we pretty much had to rebuild everything.
And we'll be celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary this May.
Yeah, very happy. So when I went back into tech, I'd always wanted to get back into real estate on the development side, real estate investment side. I thought I was going to be at my tech company for 1 or 2 years and then go back in, but I had no idea how long that recession was going to last and how much I would enjoy in my new company. But after my company got acquired, the company I worked for got acquired at the end of 2020, I was able to go back into business for myself in real estate investment, real estate development. So my friends all joke, they're like, what's it like being retired? And I would say, I have no idea. The only difference is I retired from the corporate world and I'm working for myself. And then Lori had the chance to join me a couple years later, retiring from the corporate life.
So I retired 3 years ago, and it was definitely an adjustment. I had been working since the time I was 13 years old. So I had to give myself some time and grace to come up with a new routine, establish things that I wanted to do, making health a major priority. But my life changed. So I became the head chef, the head dog walker, and the head house cleaner.
And I'm working on a real estate development project right now. It's a 4-story self-storage building, and it's been kind of pushed out with all the interest rates and market rents and things like that. But Lori's going to be very, very involved in that when we get that project going, hopefully next year. I think the thing I'm most grateful about being retired from the corporate life is that we have the time to do what we want to do. And that flexibility is huge. It's Obviously, I'm still working, managing our rental properties and working on the development project, things like that. But I also have the time to, where we can go out to the boat together with our dog and fly, go on trips, see friends and family, or just take the day off and golf and not have any pressure from anybody about where we're spending the time. So I think that's, for me, that's my favorite part.
And we have been working pretty much our entire married life together on these projects, buying real estate, sacrificing. We drove the same cars for 18 years. We didn't get new cars until just a few years ago. So it's really a pleasure to be able to enjoy our stage of life at this point.
Yeah, and we're fortunate that we were able to buy new cars, but it was, your 2002 BMW, my 2005 Jeep Wrangler, we drove those into the ground.
Well,
saving money.
But you still have the Jeep Wrangler.
Oh yeah, it's a great weather week. But I mean, we took all our money and we invested it in the company that I was working for, and really we're fortunate.
So this leads to our next chapter. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers to that.
And we'll spend some time talk about some of the other things we do. And I could talk to you about how fun it is to fix toilets. That's a new skill I've learned. But I've also learned financial modeling for development. It's been a great journey.
So we'll take you along for the ride, show you what we've experienced, and hope you enjoy it.
Cheers.
Our home base is Boise, and Ken's typical day starts with a routine he calls Quicken and Coffee on our back deck, which overlooks the treetops of Boise's historical district. My mornings vary based on the day, but typically start with some coffee. I froth up an egg yolk with a little water in the NutriBullet, and it turns my coffee into a creamy cappuccino without adding dairy. I tend to a few things around the house, and then I'm off to my workout class at our club, while Lexi relaxes in her bed and keeps an eye out for Amazon delivery drivers she can bark at. Ken likes to hit the gym at our club, but this particular morning, he's working out for the first time since he had a complete left knee replacement 3.5 weeks ago. His knee was bone on bone due to playing football and basketball in his teens, soccer in his 30s, and tennis in his 40s. The wonderful nurses and physical therapists had him walking with a walker the same day as his surgery, and he's been diligent about doing his daily physical therapy. He graduated to walking with a cane the second week, and now without any assistance in his third week. I'm really proud of the progress he's made, and his scar looks amazing. After I finished my workout class, it was time to get the roast going in the slow cooker for dinner. And then, of course, Lexi is ready for her walk. She's quite the prancer. Lexi is 7.5 years old, weighs 12 pounds, and still gets mistaken for a puppy all the time. She was born on a farm outside of Boise, and we found her at a nonprofit puppy boutique in Boise when she was 4 months old. They said her markings and coloring looked exactly like her father, who was a 10-pound Pekingese, and then her mother was a 4-pound Chihuahua with a long, pointy nose. Today's walk is to Camel's Back Park, an 11-acre park that's adjacent to the 63-acre Camel's Back Reserve and the 292-acre Hulse Gulch Reserve. There's a huge system of hiking and biking trails throughout the Boise foothills for outdoor enthusiasts to enjoy. The property for Camel's Back Park and Camel's Back Reserve was donated in 1932 by Bernard Lemp, son of Boise pioneer, developer, and mayor John Lemp. To address erosion of the hill in 2016, a series of landings and stone steps were installed at the top of the Camelback Chute, the steepest section of the foothill trail access from the park. On our way home, Lexi and I enjoy seeing the first blooms of spring on the trees. Meanwhile, Ken heads to his office. One of the 5,000 square foot office buildings that we own had a tenant move in that needed everything except for 700 square feet. So Ken said, perfect, it could be my office. He then proceeded to deck it out with a kitchenette, a movable desk on wheels, lots of bookcases to display his favorite things, and a full-size conference table. It's the perfect space for him to work on his self-storage development project and manage our investments. Ken manages our commercial and residential buildings, as well as our real estate syndication investments we've invested in over the years. Before I married Ken, I sold one home and parlayed that into buying 3 homes, a primary residence and 2 rental properties. My intent was to buy more rentals, pay them off over time, and use the rental income to fund my retirement in addition to my 401k. After marrying, we decided to start buying commercial properties with our dual incomes, which can offer more potential appreciation over time than residential properties. It's still nice to have residential properties though, because they are much more liquid in case you need to sell an asset. We also have a Cessna 210 that we lease to a flying club and a 66-foot boat named Lady Georgia that we charter through Anacortes Yacht Charters. We like our assets to pay for themselves whenever possible, but to be honest, they still cost a lot to maintain. Ken is an electrical engineer, a private pilot, and he can captain our boat, so we have a lot of great adventures together, and I am so grateful. Sometimes I bring Lexi to the office, and she absolutely loves it. Hanging out, sitting in on meetings, and then she crashes, taking a well-deserved nap in her bed. At the end of the day, we love to sit out on our deck, look out over the city, watch the planes take off and land south of downtown Boise, and enjoy the epic sunsets that Boise has to offer. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.